Thank you.
Anytime.
Let me share my presentation. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. I think there is electric stock somewhere under you. I think that's permanent. Just kidding. Love you. Love you, guy.
I love you too, man.
Let me see if I can share the right one. There we go. Can you see this? Welcome to my living room. Been sitting here for 2 years now. It's actually a picture I took in March, thinking I'll just put that in representation, showing my customer where I work. For a couple of months, we'll do that. But here we are, 2 years later almost, sitting here. And as you can see, I'm using HP everywhere. So, hey, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for being here today. We appreciate that. Not always easy during work hours. I would rather be there live at Burlington, Markham, London, you name it, Kitchener, and see your faces, and then go for a nice dinner after. But that's coming, hopefully soon. We can all do that together. So I'm here to talk about IPG, which is the print division of HP. There's not much going on print, but I'll continue a little bit because I'm a BDM with Cinex. So I do mostly PSG, which is PCs, and I do IPG as well. So I'm just going to go on into some of the tools and some of the links that you can use for PSG and IPG. If you have any questions, this is interactive. Just let Brian know. Just put it in the chat, and I'll try to answer them. So let me go through this here. So why TD Cinex now? Some of this will change here. For example, offices, warehouses, it's getting bigger and better. In the past, large inventory, it's even greater now. And I get a lot of questions on HP of where's the stock, and it's getting a lot better. We have tons of Pro books right now. Elite books we have. If you need docs, let me know. We may have some somewhere. We may have some coming in that are not spoken for. Work with us. There's 3 of us dedicated PD for Cinex right now, legacy Cinex. But with Avi and Aaron coming on board from TD, there'll be 5 of us, which is great. And so it's probably going to change, but for now, and it's going to be there for a while, it's going to work. HPBDM@cinex.com. So if you need any help on HP, could be, I want to do a big deal. I'm looking for this product. I'm looking for something to compete with this. For example, a Dell product, for example. Or I'm not sure, I want to do a big deal. I only have 20 units. Will it work? Just come to me, just come to us, just ask us the question. All we need is the end user information and what you need, or the specs of what you need, and we'll take it from there. And we do that every day. So we're just here to help you. Speaking of helping you, pre-sale support. Now this is really good, and a lot of customers don't even know that exists. So this is basically a pre-sale support on anything. Doesn't have to be HP. Just include your account number, and you sent ts@cinex.com your question. It could be anything from digital signage, could be a POS, could be printer related, could be the competition as this part. What do you have that's HP comparable? They'll help you. Just include your account number and send them a quick email. This is free for you to use. They're pretty quick. This is a big team in the US and 45 people that can help you. Now, something else, a lot of customers do CTO because they want to just add memory. 8 gigs, they want to do 16. They'll do a CTO with HP, goes on to a big deal. CTO is available to everybody, by the way. That is standard and above, sorry. So you can use Cinex as well without a CTO. So if you can buy a smart buy, that's in stock. And what we're going to do is just send an email to caconfigquotes@cinex.com. I want to add memory to these 20 units, or I want to do like an EOS image, something. They'll help you. They'll give you a quote, and it's a lot quicker, especially if it's in stock versus try to do a CTO. If it's in stock, they'll get it, within a week or so. It's going to be done and shipped directly to you end user, so you don't have anything to do with it. So, which is good. More tools here. HPI config. This is not really utilized in Canada. It is in the US more than it is in Canada. This is basically HPI Market Pro. I know if you use HPE, for example, for a server, there's more configuration to do and it's more complicated. For a notebook or desktop, the reason why it's not utilized because there's not much add-on other than memory or different drive or have some different care pack. You can use Market Pro for this, and it's pretty accurate. It's plugged in directly with HP. Promotion and rebate, just come to us for that if you have any questions. I do have customers that I emailed all the time on promotion. Jordy will have age product, for example. Not really current these days. We don't have that much age. But when we do, it's going to come back eventually. We have tons of stock that HP is going to give us funding to get rid of. And this could be useful to you. So we send an age list to our customer. Here's like 20 elite, G7, kind of not quite end of life, or it could be a G8 that's not quite end of life as well. But, they've been in the warehouse for 90 days. You need to go. So there we go. This is something for you that you can use. So this is, if you want to be on that list, just send us an email at hpbdm@synnex.com. We'll just add you to that list. More tools. HP Sales Central. Now, if you have an HP portal, if you're an HP partner, you have an HP portal, just log on and then look for HP Central. This is really, really useful. I use that every day because I get a lot of questions. And, there's a lot of training. Customers want to know, what can we get some more information on security, for example, or printing or accessories, pack. So Sales Central would be a good place to go. For example, a tool. Let me show you this here. Other tools, like I mentioned, CarePack Central. Also, Help Me Choose. I use that all the time. Customer call. I'm looking for a notebook. I want an i7, 256, et cetera. Like it's self-explanatory. It's really, really simple. Then at the end, you'll get like 10 results, and then you can just put that into a PDF or a side-by-side comparison to your customer. So it's really professional. So it's easy, it's really accurate. So this is there for you to use. If you have any questions, you want to be trained on this or your staff, just email us. We'll do a quick webinar. Another one that's really, really neat as well that I use all the time, Help Me Choose Workstation. Let's say you have a customer that's looking for a ZBook. They don't know what graphic card you should put in there, how much memory, or should I put a Xeon processor or an i7? Well, by going to Help Me Choose Workstation, you can just input the type of software the customer is using, and HP will give you like the 3 different choices of what you can choose and what's, yes, you need like 32 or 16 megs of RAM or gigs of RAM. i7 is preferable for this software, for example. If you do 3D, then you need something a little more beefier. Anyway, you don't want to overquote your customer. You just do like AutoCAD Lite, for example, right?
Hey, Luc.
Yes.
Guess what? A question came in and you told me that I could interrupt you. So go
ahead, Brian.
Question. Being so competitive, might you have a platform we can use that compares feature sets, price points of similar industry models?
Sorry, I missed your phone kind of cut off at the beginning.
My
apologies.
Maybe
it's the electrical shock you're getting.
It hurt a little, but I liked it. So with the print business being so competitive, might you have a battle card that we can use that compares feature sets, price points of similar industry model?
Actually, you can probably, yes, there is, if you go to South Central, there is a place where you can compare competition. Or, they're looking for this. This is the feature point compared to the competition. Yes, it's on this site.
Brilliant. Thank you, sir. Carry on.
You're welcome. And I'll get to print pretty soon. Getting there. Another tool I can show you. This is still into the PC world. We don't have something for print for this. We have something kind of similar. I can show you where it is later. But this is gold. We get this every month. This is on your portal as well. It's called the LCM. This is useful. This is really, really accurate. You're looking for anything. For example, an 850 EliteBook. And I'm on vPro, so you can isolate all the vPro. Everything with 16 gigs of RAM with 512. And then there you go. And at the end, actually, if you're a Synergy or better, they'll show you how much blue carpet you're getting. So the blue carpet is Spiff. Excuse me. Spiff from HP. They'll tell you what it is. And IP. There's lots and lots of information. Also the end of life date and what potentially will be replaced with. If they have something, they'll put it in there. So this is useful. If you don't have it, I'll show you where to get it. There it is. This is at the bottom of your portal, LCM. You'll see it right there. So, also, I mentioned about print. They do have the master roadmap. This is not in detail, but it tells you what's available. That's that time frame, or right now, if it's up to date. As you can see, they says I downloaded this in October. So there's not much new in print. This is like the last update was April. So there's not much new products in print. We'll talk about this just tomorrow. So join in, just go and register. Flight school, lots of money. I want some money. So if I can win, you'll win something for sure. Okay, let's jump into print quickly. So like I mentioned, not that much new into the print world, but there's still a lot of business out there because it's lots of printing. There's always going to be lots of printing going on. Healthcare, education, you name it. My partner here, she's healthcare. She works from home and she goes up and down. She prints all the time, right? She has to go and show a proof of this. And they have, anyway, real estate is another market where a lot of printing going on right now. You work from home. You have to do a contract, lots of pages that you have to sign and scan and sign again, scan again. So let's go through some of the print world. So this is kind of new. We're talking about something new this year. This is kind of came out in June. It was kind of hard to get stock because it wasn't predicted that, COVID was going to be there a couple of years ago. And this was probably announced before that. And it was announced in June. This is kind of replacing the 200 series. So we do have some stock that are coming in, like the 209 DW, for example. This is like in the $200 range, laser, mono, so really, really affordable. You do have also the same model, but with an HP Plus, they call it. So basically, you can sign with HP a monthly subscription for ink. So nobody makes money with ink anyway. So that's what Fred always said. But you can actually sign up. But I don't want to talk too much about that. These are the ones that you can sell the ink for. So these models, the 209 DW is on order, and I believe the Legacy Tech Data has stock. They have lots of stock, I believe, on some of the office debt that I'll talk about a little later. But I believe the 209 do have stock. This is new. This is in stock on and off. I think it's really popular in the US right now. This is brand new. This is the first really toner tank type printer. You've seen a lot of inkjet toner tank. Ink tank. This is the toner tank. So it comes in right out of the box with 5,000 pages. So you buy they're not that expensive. This is like entry level laser. perfect for home and comes to 5,000 pages. So it'll last you forever. It'll last me forever. There it is. Suck it, plunge it, print it. And the refills are, quickly done. This is like, 2,500 pages right there. The specs, if you're interested in the specs. And the good part about this is the refill for 2,500 pages is $28 MSRP. This is great. Doesn't cost too much. And Legacy Tech Data has stock. I believe we have stock coming. So just work with us if you need stock. This is something that I've been asked a lot these days. If you're delivery business or real estate business, you need to print on the road. This is like a battery type mobile printer. Really useful. And this could be good for hybrid solutions where, I have to go to an office. I'm not sure if they'll have a printer there. I only go there once a week. I don't want to download any drivers. Just take one of those. It's not going to be the quickest thing, but it's going to print. And that's all you need, man. And lots of stock at Tech Data. They do have 200 plus. I think we had one, Cinex. So we probably sold more. I don't know. I don't know what the reality is. But between us, we have lots of stock. This is another option that a lot of people are looking for, something that doesn't take too much room, that's kind of quiet. But the ink is not too expensive in this case. Ink is always a little cheaper, except when we talk about the ink tank. Ink is always a little cheaper versus toner. So this is in stock, lots in stock between TD and us, and it's 179 MSRP. This is like a Wi-Fi, 35 frames per minute, not too bad. This will work with the print scan app that we have. That way you don't have to install any driver or anything, you just print it remotely. Nice and simple. This is kind of the upper version of that, a little faster. This is the 346. Probably has more security versus the 8015E. But again, lots of them in stock. So 346 MSRP. And like I mentioned, Smart App. I use that Smart App myself when I was on the road to scan all my receipts. And that way, if they are needed, they're in that folder. I just can use them, print it, you name it. It's really useful. It works with all our current printers. So we don't have to worry about drivers, especially when you go from one office to the other. Just print. It's just going to work, right? I'll just recognize it. And yes, you can fax with that app. For if some of you don't know what the fax is, send me an email, please. Again, South Central. If you have any questions about printing or you want more details, type of security, if it's enterprise, non-enterprise, check South Central. All the information is there. Like 5 minutes left or so. Now this is like CDC in the US, similar in Canada. Guidelines are clean everything you have to no end, right? But we do have a care pack that came out. So if you have customers that do have some of HP printers, this is a care pack. Basically, this care pack, someone will go to your end user office and install these membranes on their printers that's compatible. Obviously, it would have to be compatible, the care pack, with the printers you have. If it's a flow model, for example, and it has a keyboard, like shown here, you can get that model as well. So that's kind of useful. And this is like, will increase your wipe, up to from maybe 1,000 wipes to like 10,000 wipes, right? Now, I always encourage customers to use original toners. at the end of the line, it's going to be better quality. Yeah, short term reman and etc. You're going to save money, but long term, you'll probably pay for it. They say that 76% of people using reman in the long term, they end up paying more than what they save. It's a fact. Here it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So obviously the counterfeit is like the no-no. And I understand in the reman world, some are better than others. Some are made from scratch, but they're not HP cartridges. HP basically makes the cartridge before they make the printer. It's through the engine. Then they make the printer around the cartridge. So all the quality that you're going to save, paper you're going to save, comes with the toner. Plus, not to mention, especially if you work from home, you're using something you don't know where it's from, toner-wise. Keep in mind a toner, a drum, everything just eats up to it's really, really hot, and it creates like gas. It could be harmful. There it is. More to remanufacturing that are not recycling. We don't know where they're getting those from. And basically, they'll get 5 cartridges, they'll keep 2 to reman, and the other 3, who knows, right? Now, if you have any questions about our green initiative at HP, you can visit the HP Planet, Partner Planets. And also, if you want to return empty cartridges, this is free. They'll show you where to go. And or if you do order HP toners, there's always a return bag for your toners in there. So really clean. It's good to be, I watch all those shows on YouTube about sailors across the world. And one thing that we see on all those videos is plastic in the ocean. They always show when they go on those nice beaches that nobody's been for years. High tide, there's always like tons and tons of plastic. It's just unbelievable, like how much plastic there is in the ocean. So please help everyone and recycle. So that's all I have. Any questions? And once again, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Hey, Luc, it's Brian again.
Brian, again.
Again. Jay was talking a lot about the Wolf security. Does that factor into HP?
Oh, of course. And when you talk about laser printers, for example, on your network, sometimes they're left aside. They don't, but a printer these days, and I'm sure all of you know, it's like a computer. It is a computer. It has a hard drive connected to the network, connected to the internet. So you can actually send a PDF that can sit there for months, and then all of a sudden it's gonna exploit your network. So yes, we do have a lot of security on our printers. Things like SureStart, whitelisting, et cetera, et cetera. If you have more questions on print security, it's all your Stealth info. You'll get a lot under Jet Intelligence. Or send me a quick email. I can send you some PDFs on, depending on the printers, what security do you have. So thanks, good question.
Every now and then I'll come up with a good question, Luc, every now and then. And of course, the Wolf can be managed for print as well as the desktops, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes, exactly the same thing. It also depends also on the level of printers you have. But if you have an enterprise version, yes, it's all manageable.
So it's a single pane of glass, can both manage the desktop environment as well as the print?
Now, I believe they do. I'm not an expert in security, but I believe, yes, once you're in there, and it's like you're in there, so you can manage both of them.
Perfect. A wonderful reason for our partner community to check out the partner website.